Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, like you saw, he's 8 feet tall.
Yep.
Basically, I walked into Godzilla where he should be. 5 rounds is a long time. And I am not scared to get into that dark place. We've seen that. Because that just went... My coach knew exactly what he was doing. He knows me. He went, okay, let's see where your character lies. And losing is not an option.
It is no secret that for a fighter, the most pressurizing days are those leading up to their big day, with thousands of eyes watching every move and analyzing every tiniest detail. So, if one of the contenders gives in under set pressure, all hell breaks loose. During the media day interviews, the usually composed and charming DDP admittedly lost his composure while discussing the fight, claiming that for him, what matters most is the title that comes with the battle ahead. Going straight at Khamzat, DDP contended that he couldn't care less how nice a guy the Russian fighter is. His main goal is to go straight for the kill.
And I've said this many times, you can be the biggest in the world or the nicest guy in the world. I'm still going out there to try and kill you. And it's what I'm here to do.
Adding to that, the South African added fuel to the already raging fire by saying that when the day of the fight arrives, you will not be looking at the same Dricus du Plessis in the octagon as he was during the interviews. Elaborating on that, he said that the fight night brings out a whole new version of a fighter, one who's not afraid to throw hands.
It makes no difference to me. When fight night comes, it's not the same. It's not the same guy that's sitting here speaking to you that's getting into that octagon.
Moreover, reiterating how great a fighter he is, Dricus predicted during these media day interviews that right after the match, everyone would be chanting the same words they do after DDP takes the win. He did it again! He claimed that just as people fear to doubt him in the current fight, even the smallest of doubts would be erased from their minds after he brutally takes down Chimaev.
But what people are going to be saying is the same thing they've said after every single one of my fights. He did it again. Can you believe it? Dricus did it again. I will not doubt him again. You know, same old, same old.
Adding salt to injury, Dricus, in his mind, has already deemed himself the champion of the UFC 319 fight, claiming that it would be better for Khamzat to prepare himself mentally to experience the bitter taste of the first defeat of his career. According to DDP, a fighter's first loss builds character inside of him, so the South African fighter would be looking forward to seeing how Chimaev recovers from the potential loss.
You know, he's so certain that he's becoming world champion, and I'm here to say no. There's no way you're becoming world champion while I'm the champion. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, it's always... I've tasted my first loss. I know what it feels like. It sucks. It really sucks. But that's where character comes in, so it's going to be interesting to see how he gets up from this.
On the other hand, Khamzat Chimaev reacted to Dricus' callouts, claiming that no matter what his opponents say, words are mere words before the fight. The real battle is inside the cage, and that's where Khamzat will show the world who the real champion is. According to Chimaev, his main goal is to fight, earn the money and the belt, and go home. The rest is just white noise.
All the fighters talk, but nothing is gonna change here. Everyone has to fight in the cage anyway, so whatever he says, I don't care about. So I'm come here and to beat him up and take my money and go home.
Furthermore, Khamzat isn't that innocent himself, having ridiculed the South African fighter in his unorthodox, messy style during his training in his camp. He could be seen flinging his arms around randomly like someone who barely knows how to fight. So, one can't say that it's only Dricus who has been feeding the competitive fuel when the true roaster turned out to be Khamzat all along. Based in that instance, Khamzat was asked whether this unpredictable style of Dricus could prove difficult for the Russian fighter to navigate as he plans for the fight ahead. To that, Khamzat had a simple answer. He does not care for what his opponent brings to the table, but focuses on what he can improve in his stance and abilities to make sure he can bag the win.
We saw your imitation of Dricus with the big overhand punches. Is it difficult to prepare for a guy with such an awkward style?
I don't think I never like thinking about what my opponent gonna do. So I always on my way, So training do the same thing like I did before. I focus on myself,
In another instance, Khamzat brought out his humorous side while talking to Daniel Cormier as the latter tried to interview the Russian fighter before the fight. While joking around, Daniel commented on Khamzat's skin, claiming that the fighter cannot have soft, dewy skin like this. To that, Khamzat replied with a comment that made Daniel laugh out loud, but it also pointed out the fact that the Russian fighter was aware of what kind of names he was being called behind his back. Khamzat had said, "It doesn't need to be beautiful. Girls like terrorists." Moreover, both contenders went face-to-face with each other prior to the match, meeting with smiles on their faces and using the usual pleasantries to greet their opponent. However, after their meetup, people could not help but notice how Dricus was being towered over by Khamzat Chimaev, who looked like a giant.
You too. Good weekend. See you at fight. It's going to be a good one. Let's do it.
Adding to that, Dricus commented on that instance, claiming that he had faced an 8-foot gorilla that day, laughing about the sheer height of the Russian fighter. Khamzat too claimed that Dricus was way smaller than the hype had said he would be, as the people and experts had always roared about the South African's massive build while throwing out predictions about the fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, like you saw, he's 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
Basically, I walked into Godzilla.
Khamzat said while talking to DC, but he's not as big as people say, like big. No, not at all. Furthermore, while discussing with the MMA guru, Dricus claimed that while he does not have anything specific in his mind to rage bait Khamzat Chimaev in the pre-fight press conference, the South African fighter would not hesitate to match the energy if any attacks do come his way. According to DDP, what matters is how composed his opponent is. If there is peace on the other side, Dricus would maintain his peace as well.
Maybe it will be all respectful and it will be about the fight and not there. But I mean, if he's going to come at me, I'll be ready. I'll be ready. Okay. So I'll match the energy like always. Like I'm chilled until you're not.
That is true. A lot of people say you sort of go after everyone at the presses, but they all start at Dricus.
Yeah,
they all
I've never
start
went
going
up
at you
there.
first.
100%. You know, I mean, look at the Strickland, the presser where things went haywire. It was really a respectful one until we, came and said some stuff, and I was like, okay, let's do it this way.
However, Gilbert Burns, a former opponent of Khamzat Chimaev, claimed that every action the Russian fighter took towards fighting him seemed personal. Calling him a bully, Gilbert stated that the way Khamzat looks down upon you prior to the fight and the way his stance is, it makes you feel like he's trying to intimidate you. Gilbert said that while his intentions were to defeat the bully opposing him, he could not overcome the power that Khamzat came into the ring with.
It was just a fight. And I know whenever we start fighting, I saw a bully, you know when you have the perception of a bully. Right. Yeah. He came and then when I was walking, I saw the guy on top of the cage sitting down with Darren Till. And I was looking at him and I said, bro, there's no way I'm gonna lose to this guy. That's when he hit me. Was hitting me during the camp because of his coach.
I do remember that.
But when I saw that guy sitting down on the cage, I remember looking and like, there's no way I'm gonna lose to this guy, bro. This guy he got personal. Like, you think, well, I'm a clown or what? Okay, he can do something, but I'm not gonna stop him. No, there's no way. Now he turned something that I'm like, okay, now we'll see it.
Meanwhile, as the two main UFC 319 contenders throw attacks at each other through tweets or interviews, the audience and experts alike can't choose between which of the fighters to bet against. With just a few days left for the fight, the predictions remain as gray as ever. Connor Burks and Eric Jackman from the Ariel Helwani show discussed just that, claiming that this might be one of the most exciting matches to date. They also claimed the press conference might be the star highlight of the show, though, as the fighters throw jabs at each other prior to fighting.
I've just been dying to see, can Khamzat Chimaev be a champion? That was a storyline that I've been following from the beginning, where I just felt like this guy has the combination of skills, tenacity, ruthlessness to kind of be this superstar for the UFC, but it's been these like starts and stops. The fact that he is finally going to have a title shot is its own story for me. but then combine that with the fact that he's fighting DDP, who is an absolute savage, and what DDP is able to do to this point resume-wise, it is a perfect fight. It's fantastic. It's two guys that are going to rise to the occasion. I can't be more excited for it.
I think they're also going to build the fight really well next week. I think the press conference is going to be awesome. I think the media days are going to be awesome. Then the fight itself, I just don't see it not being awesome.
How could it be bad?
Khamzat Chimaev is a guy that just goes pedal to the metal from the jump, and then DDP is just the king of chaos.
Moreover, Khamzat had claimed in an interview that he has his eyes set on becoming a triple champion, wanting to change weight classes and fight the best contenders in both of them. The best part of this plan, according to Connor and Eric, was the fact that Khamzat, in his mind, has already established and deemed himself to be the winning champion of this UFC 319 fight, much like Dricus.
He said, I work with a new coach, and I talked to him about going down to 170. I don't know who's the champ there. This Australian guy, obviously referring to Jack Della Maddalena, that'd be a good fight for me. He continues, I go down, I fight with him, take the belt there. If I go up, there's Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira. They're fighting now. Whoever's winning, I can fight for that belt as well.
That easy. That's it.
He's saying this sitting in if you watch the interview, sitting in a kitchen in Huntington Beach, California, and saying this with the calmness of like me planning out, I'm going to go get coffee from Starbucks, and then I'm going to swing by the grocery store and pick up some ingredients for dinner, and then I'm going to come home and watch a movie.
Yeah.
But he's talking about, I'm going to beat Dricus du Plessis, go down, beat Jack Della Maddalena, or, maybe Islam Makhachev, and then whoever wins Ankalaev, Pereira, I'll take care of them as well.
What's so funny is I was just about to say, as you said that, he didn't mention Dricus du Plessis. Which is the funniest part, because it's such a foregone conclusion in his head that he's already won this fight that it's just like, okay, middleweight belt's accounted for. I've already got the fight. I win the middleweight belt. It's done. Like, he's not even thinking about it. Now these other two belts, like, I'll go collect them if I want.
What's more interesting, though, is that Brendan Schwab claimed that Dricus du Plessis is capable of the same pathway, winning 3 division titles one by one. While discussing Brendan's comments, Chael Sonnen stated that this idea does not seem as far-fetched as it may sound, as Dricus does seem to be the guy who has a successful career path ahead of him.
Brendan Schaub did a piece, and he likes Dricus, and he likes Dricus to the point that he thinks he could be a 3-division champion. And no, before you're wondering if he's got to cut to 170, no. Brendan laid out the math. 185 where he's already king, go up to 205, grab the belt, slide up to heavyweight, beat those guys. I don't hate the idea. I'm grateful that Brendan brought it to us. I'm grateful that Brendan brought this to our attention, because I too find that Dricus in his next fight with Chimaev is not fighting for nothing. I think there is something there. The pound for pound list. 145 and 155 are the deepest divisions in the UFC, historically speaking. So whoever is the champion of 45 or 55 will generally, one of those guys will be the pound for pound great.
Additionally, Dricus du Plessis shared what gets under the fighter's nerves, causing him to take the match more personally. According to him, when he is doubted by his opponent, that ticks him off. This is because in Dricus' mind, he's the best fighter alive in the UFC world, so when his abilities are challenged, he does not take it lightly. DDP even went on to claim that the only person who could truly rile him up was himself. No one else's opinions matter.
For me, what I take personally is every time I step in there and you think in your mind that this guy, I take personally because I am the greatest in my mind and I'm giving my everything. That's the only thing I take personal. The only person that can get me personally riled up is myself. No outside force, no other person, because that means they can have an influence on my emotions, how I react, and that's just not possible. That is, in my opinion, a weakness. I don't take this personally. I take this 100% professionally.
In the end, throwing jabs at each other and roasting the other opponent is a usual day-to-day chore in a UFC fighter's life. However, there does come a point where a fighter goes a bit too far trying to prove their point. What do you think? Did Dricus cross the line by throwing Khamzat under the bus a few days before the fight? Or are you one of those people who enjoy these taunts more than the fight itself? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on the latest UFC news.